Built by a developer. He lived in it, and he was a great golfer by the name of Jackie Burke. Mr. Burke built the house and the neighborhood to the standards that applied at that time under Chapter 9. Later on, in the mid-70s, another area was added to the neighborhood, and it was built according to the standards of Chapter 9. Unfortunately, in the area all around us, on all four sides, we are surrounded by massive redevelopment. There are some older neighborhoods to the north of us that have not had control of the deed restrictions and will probably go either commercial or become housing under the Chapter 42. The problem we've got is, how do we protect our neighborhood? I'm with the Spring Branch Civic Association, and we have problems with drainage. I have talked to the City of Houston about it numerous times. Mr. Lynn Streschner with Public Works has answered my replies and said it would take a significant CIP to keep us dry. In '09, we had 250 homes flood. The question is, if we enforce our deed restrictions, and we're doing the best we can, and we're not going to get any CIP under the Rebuild Houston program, then how are we supposed to stay dry? Because the Chapter 42 is put in place and is in the area north of us, which is the watershed comes down to us. So we have no control of the northern part of our watershed. So we're at the mercy of the developers or the Chapter 42 builders to the north. So how do we proceed and protect ourselves? There's money that's supposed to be put aside under the impact developer fee. There's also other monies that are supposed to be going into the rebuild fund from what's called in lieu of detention. You put money in. But what I'm saying is, how do we secure and protect ourselves from what goes on outside us? Because we are at the mercy of what y'all decide to do. And on this one page right here, it talks about after 2 years it's effective for all tracts of land outside of the 610 loop. My suggestion, there should have been something put in there that if an area is subject to being compressed and densified by Chapter 42, then that area should be up to current standards. It should have already been built up to handle and have the infrastructure to handle a Chapter 42. I have not seen anywhere on any of these documents anything that talks about what happens if you put a Chapter 42 in a location that's got an archaic infrastructure. If you do not have the infrastructure, how can you support this? Because in the end, if we're wet...
Thank you, ma'am. Your time has expired.
Thank you, ma'am.
One moment. Councilmember Brown.
Did you want to wrap up your statement, please?
I was going to suggest that there are a lot of loopholes in this Chapter 42, and I think it's kind of embarrassing the fact that the Chapter 9 should have been done first. The Chapter 9 should have been passed and put in place to show the standards before this Chapter 42 came in. And therefore, then the Chapter 42 could have been modified to play along with what Rebuild Houston's planning on doing and what will come out in the end as what's going to be an infrastructure Chapter 9.
Thank you so much, Virginia.
Thank you.